What's up, Total War players? This is Point Man here to give you an audio commentary on this 1v1 match between HannibalBarca and me. We playing on the map Waterloo. He plays as Britain, I play as France. Here's the army I brought. Wrote it down for y'all to read. And here's my opponent's army. He brought 1 General Staff, 1 Dragoon Guards, 1 Horse Guards, 1 Rifles, 2 King's German Legion Lightfoot, 2 Lightfoot, 6 foot, 1 88-foot, 1 Black Watch, and 2 5-inch howitzers. So I was going to begin my assault on this side of the field. This is where the majority of my forces are, my old guard and a few of my regular infantry units. So I was going to go for a little rush on this side of the field since my attempt at taking that farmhouse was successful, but my other attempts weren't as successful. As you can see right here, my unit is routing and they're very depleted. It went from 120 to 67 troops in a matter of seconds. So I was going to assault his center in this side of the field for once, but he changed my course to his opposite flank. So I failed at taking these farmhouses because these were very strategic positions that I really needed to gain, and I figured by sending in my best units they wouldn't rout so quickly, but that failed terribly. So right here he was shooting the ground and he saw that, so he was going to fall back so he can actually shoot my units. So I'm going to move up as quickly as possible, shoot his routing units as they're walking away, try to reposition. And these are only my Voltigos, not my best rifles. These are pretty much wannabe meat shields for France because they're not exactly usable. You really have to rely mostly on your infantry, cavalry, and your artillery in matches playing as France. And this is his new front that he formed against my flanking force. I'm gonna try and gain this little farmhouse from down the center because I really do need this. I even attempted to send in my regular infantry unit in. Surprisingly, they captured it, that my young guard couldn't. So back on this flank, my young guard stopped routing, so I'm gonna try a second attempt at getting this farmhouse, but I failed miserably. So let's go check my other flank. So over here I came up this side of the field. I'm trying to reposition, try and get my old guard to his flanks, and he's going to take some free shots from a distance. So he took this opportunity to attack my rifle that was supposedly unprotected, but I had some protection for them. I had a depleted unit of young guard protecting them. So he was attacking me with his heavy cav, so I figured this would be the best moment to use my cav. I always figure that the best time to attack your opponent with cav is when he's attacking you. So I'm attacking his flank with my cav, trying to disorganize him, and as I'm disorganizing him, I'm going to move up my old guard in a point blank range of his units. This is the range I always like to shoot units back. And I had some protection from my rifles. His heavy cav was taking some free shots from my young guard, so that's the end of his heavy cav down the center, and that's the last protection his center has against my upcoming assault on the center soon. So here's my units in the farmhouse. They're gonna basically come out for this upcoming assault on the center, and as you can see, that's his last of his heavy cav, and I'm gonna start moving up. He's going to start shooting at this farmhouse with my units in it too, so he's wasting ammo. And he's also wasting ammo on this flank also, trying to shoot my rifles. So I'm disorganizing his troops. He's going to form a square. I'm going to move up my old guard to shoot that square. He's going to reposition and fall back a little. So I still have Lancer units in reserve ready for this push down the center, so I'm going to send my young guard that's very depleted right now. Since his units are shooting at the farmhouse with my units in there right now, he's wasting ammo and he's only focusing on them right now. So I'm going to use this to shoot him at the flanks, weaken him up for my Lancers to finish him off later on, and then I'll start rushing him from the center, split up his forces, and isolate them. So there's some very accurate shots and they're going to rout very soon. Going to weaken him up right here. So I'm going to disorganize his troops, move up my men. I'm kind of marching them right now. I guess I wasn't managing them well. So I'm destroying his center right now. I'm trying to weaken him from other assaults. It's pretty much like an intimidation force down the center for my flanking force to I really don't want him to focus the majority of his forces against my flanking force, which is consisted of my 2 old guard and 2 of my regular infantry units. So I weakened his center, so I was going to send a lancer unit to finish them off. And I was kind of disorganizing these troops. They were weak when their morale was very weak. So I saw a chance to actually rout them since they were weak in morale. See them turn red? So I was going to finish them off with a little lancer charge from the side. That's going to start a little chain rout. First his rifleman, then his infantry unit. And since my old guard is right there also to deal some fear to them, which is pretty much good on morale, good against their morale. So that's going to cause a little mass rout on his flanking force. So he's going to have to take more of his forces from his center to face this force of mine. My 2 old guard and 2 of my regular infantry units. So I used my lancers as a shock troop to finish off his troops that were very low in morale. I was lucky that he didn't have his general's bodyguard nearby, general's staff. So I saw his howitzer kind of unprotected right here. They gave off a shot at one of my horses, and I feel very sorry for him right now. May he rest in peace. Well, I'm going to take them out because I didn't see any unit protecting them. So I'm going to take them out, run my guys away. Then after that, I'm just going to move up my infantry. I'm going to take my infantry that were currently in the houses to come out. And since I'm combining forces with all my units that were in the houses and combining with my flanking force, they're going to be the wrecking ball of this match. So he tried to push back this flank after he destroyed my lancer. He wanted to do a countercharge against my infantry, making him form into a square. So after that, I just marched up, took out piece by piece of his infantry until we get into this position right now, where the only infantry units that I have to deal with is a unit that recently stopped routing of his, and his Black Watch unit that is currently in that house. And the whole time during this match, they were taking free shots at my riflemen in front of that house, so they ran out of ammo, so they couldn't shoot back at my troops surrounding them. But as I said, one of his units stopped routing. I'm going to send a unit of Young Guard to take them out, and I'm going to send my Old Guard and my other infantry units to surround that house and start doing a little siege attack against it. It's pretty much the last stand of the Black Watch unit, so it's very heroic to watch. But I'm going to show you all the melee fight between the Young Guard and his unit that stopped routing as well, because you get to see the chance of my guys actually running a certain distance to his foot unit right here, and then meleeing them. So right about here, I realized that my unit has just run out of ammo. It's very weird because they were just reloading their guns, their muskets, and yet they ran out of ammo. So right here, he tried to make my guys form a square with his general, trying to cav rush me. And I formed the square, and his general fell off his horse, so that's a very heroic way to die in an epic match like this. So I'm going to begin my full-out assault on this farmhouse with his Black Watch unit in there. I sent 2 units of my Old Guard and 2 units of my regular infantry units. And here's this heroic charge of my Young Guard. They run a certain distance before they get into combat with his troops. So that's a very awesome charge, and I like this little melee fight. And just to seal the deal, I'm going to take my general and attack him from behind. I'm really surprised my general hasn't died this entire time. Usually he dies right away. I'm even going to go as far as use some units to do some supporting fire. I even got to shoot one of the Black Watch units through the window. So that's the end of the Black Watch unit. Good game to my opponent, HannibalBarca, who is also the leader of the gods, one of the greatest clans out there.